Good morning, everybody. I wanted to address really quickly because it's getting way out of hand that they were bitching about Biden administration giving out $750 to everybody affected by the hurricanes. Now, this is similar to the Maui thing. There is a limit to the amount of money they could give without congressional approval, and $750 is the maximum, and he put that out right away. He also gave $1 billion to Florida before the storm even hit and approved the state of emergency for all the other states, which readies up the money, puts FEMA all on alert. FEMA was on the ground right away. The only one who could screw up any funding going to these states are the Republicans. Those same Republicans like Ron DeSantis, like Matt Gaetz, like all these other people who are claiming that Joe Biden is not doing, enough for them. And that's absolutely false. Ron DeSantis himself was making negative statements about Joe Biden even after getting $1 billion before the storm even hit. So not knowing the process of how this money actually gets allocated between here and there is actually doing a disservice to the people bitching the loudest and getting them more angry. And your anger is the problem in this country because you're 100% incorrect. You are wrong. FEMA cannot misdirect, take money out of one place and put it in another. That's Congress's job. So I'm hearing all this money doesn't go to them, only for $750, and the rest goes to Ukraine or the immigrants and blah, 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 blah. And FEMA is going broke and all this other stuff. Well, I got news for you. The Republicans are trying to shut down the government. The Republicans, that's their thing. That puts all the funding for all this stuff in danger. But FEMA is funded up until December 20th. And even after that, there's emergency funds that the president can executive order and actually get that funded if Republicans want to continue to do this. Republicans have this big problem of voting against, say, the infrastructure bill or CHIPS and Science Act or something like that, and then getting these huge checks from the very programs they all voted against, and then using those checks to go out and campaign. Look at the money I got for my constituents. Vote for me and I'll keep doing it for you. Well, they voted against these programs, and Biden got them the money anyway. Unlike Trump when California was burning from all those wildfires, he basically said cut all their funding because they didn't vote for me. You notice the difference there? And that's what MAGA's not putting two and two together. They put two and two together and they get 22. They don't get 4. Well, here's the thing, MAGA. 2 plus 2 equals 4. And if you forget the basics, you'll never recognize how ignorant and how angry you're being for no reason at all. $750 was the automatic day one, here you go, just to get food, just to get into place. They're talking about helicopters not being allowed to land and all this crazy conspiracy bullshit, when the fact of the matter is, none of it is real. None of it. Zero. You know what's real? Donald Trump going in the middle of North Carolina, standing in front of a family-owned small business that got destroyed by the hurricane, picking up the bricks from the rubble of that business, building a little freaking wall, building a podium to stand there and bitch about everyone except him and how the world's unfair, and then take credit for the Samaritans group that was sending all these truckloads of goods and all this help down to the hurricane-affected areas. And he said he was the one paying for it. He had a GoFundMe set up that raised millions of dollars, that 80 to 90% of it went to him instead of the victims of this storm. So when his followers are spouting all this bullshit and attacking the Biden administration, FEMA, and all these things, remember one simple thing. You know what the Republicans' next plan is for 2025? To get rid of FEMA, to get rid of NOAA. You know what NOAA is? That's the scientific organization that actually predicts the weather, and privatize it. That's what they want to do. They want to privatize it. So all those hurricane warnings, so you could, strap down what's important and, maybe even save your life. All of that's going away under Republican rule. They already tried to defund it a bunch because that's what Congress does, defund shit that's actually good for the American people. So you MAGA, as you're going into this election season, this last month, you need to recognize the bullshit's getting deeper and deeper because we're closer to the election. All right, that's the bottom line. You need to Educate yourself a little bit more and recognize that it's the bullshit that's getting deeper and deeper. All right? Joe Biden, the Harris administration, is not misdirecting funds. They're not taking from FEMA and giving to the immigrants. They're not doing anything like that. That's 100% false. They're doing what they can as dictated by the Constitution of the United States, and they are relying on Congress to do their jobs. The problem is this Republican Congress hasn't done their jobs. So if you're pissed off, look into that. Congress.org, look at their votes. If you're not willing to do that, shut the hell up. Put on your hat, pray to your sticky page Bible, go back to your trailers and your family sitting in bed waiting for you, and shut the hell up. Because the ignorance is what's destroying this country. Donald Trump is a big blood-sucking mosquito that just needs to be squashed and thrown in the garbage. The con man will get justice, and if you didn't know, Jack Smith just spelled a whole bunch out. That's indisputable. So if you can make it past the two-syllable word problem that you have, you should educate yourself there too. What happened with this storm is a tragedy. There are lives lost, there are businesses destroyed, and it's not there for a stage prop for your Trump show fake president. It's there because a natural disaster came through. Educate yourself before you start bitching about something you know nothing about. You want to talk about misallocating funds? Remember that border wall, the $500 million that Donald Trump very proudly said he took out of one pot and put towards it because he knew it had, and all of you cheered? You know where he took the $500 million from? Veterans and their families. Look it up. $500 million for our veterans. Educate yourself, people. The country deserves better than your assumptions and your anger based on bullshit. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. Though we're all in this together, there's a majority of us that actually look into the facts, and that's how we're voting. Harris and Walz, 2024. Deal with that.